Alright, today I'm going to do some really simple two-dimensional drafting in SketchUp only to produce a diagram which I can take into the shop with me and create a template. The template is going to be for a board game. So nothing crazy here. All I need is my X and Y coordinates, which in this case is the red and green. I do not need the blue. So in this case, let's go to Camera, Parallel Projection, and let's go with a top-down view. I'm looking straight down the blue axis only to see my X and only to see my Y. Two-dimensional drafting. I'm only going to do the pan and zoom in and out for my views. I'm not going to orbit at all. If you see in the top left-hand corner, it does say top, so we are looking at a 100% exact top-down view. So R for rectangle, I've already determined my rectangle size, my template size to be 28, 28, enter, 28 inches. Spacebar, triple click, G for component, enter. I do not want this size of my template to modify, so I'm just going to make it a component. Let's find the center point, so T for tape measure, and from one side to the center, one side of the top to the center. And I'm making an aggravation board game. I've never played aggravation. One of my friends wants a board game, so I figured I'd make one. I don't know how to play it at all, but I do know how it's laid out. So I've already looked online and figured it out. T for tape measure, let's go up 3 inches, enter. Let's go down 3 inches, enter. Let's go left 3 inches, enter. Let's go right 3 inches, enter. I've determined that I want to have a spacing of 1.5 inches in between each spot and a total width of 6 inches per leg of this board. This board game is basically going to look like a cross, and and yeah, very, very simple. So let's go ahead and draw the tick marks for the center point for the template. This particular template is just going to have holes drilled in it that I'll use my plunge router to plunge a marble bit into the workpiece. Basically leaves a little shallow dish for marbles to be used. So all I want is the little tick mark for the center line. Let's go L for line. Let's drop a vertical line that is 1 inch long. L for line, let's drop a horizontal line that is not touching the first one, that is 1 inch long. Let's grab this line, M for move, and from the center point or the midpoint to this particular midpoint, that gives us a intersection. Let's grab all of these, Q for rotate, and let's just make this 45 degrees. It's still selected, so let's press G for component, enter. This is a center point for a drilling location. Let's grab it, M for move, from its midpoint, drop it off at the midpoint here, and then the exact center of the board, there will be one of these drilled here. Let's just work on this particular leg. M for move, Control brings up copy. Let's start here, and then M for move, Control brings up copy again. Let's go down the 1.5 inch spacing that I wanted. X, 5, enter. That gives me a total of 6 on this leg. And let's grab this one. M for move, Control brings up copy. Same 1.5 inches. Let's go this direction, 1.5, enter. X4, enter. I think it's 4, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4 makes 5 along this leg. Let's grab this whole row right here with a window. M for move, Control brings up copy. From here to the center, we need a center line right here. And let's press X2, enter, to repeat this and equal spacing over to here. So this is one leg of the template, and I'm going to rotate this all the way around. So what's here is basically going to be duplicated there. That means I don't need that one. So I'm going to copy all of this all the way around, but I also want to, once the board game is drilled out, I want to have a cross here, or a little 5-piece section here for the player pieces. I don't know how to play this game, like I said, but I've seen this in the other ones, so this particular template's going to get it as well. Let's grab all of these, M for move, Control brings up copy. Let's set these over to here, and I only need this one, Q for rotate, from here, Control brings up copy, 90 degrees, enter. I want this to be, what is this, 11 inches? It's 11 inches. Let's go with, I don't know, 6 inches. That way it's slightly pushed in towards the game. So let's go T for tape measure from here, 6 inches, enter. T for tape measure from here, 6 inches, enter. Wherever that intersection is, that was awfully close. Select all of these, M for move from here to here. And I can delete this guideline and that one. So now I have basically 1/4 of my board game template done. Let's select all of this. Q for rotate. It's from this point right here. Let's go this direction. Press Ctrl to bring up copy. Type in 90 degrees. Enter. X3 to multiply that times 3. Enter. And that gives me my entire board game right there. Yeah, that's it. So basically all I need is to turn this into a printable diagram that I can take with me in the shop with dimensions. So a couple things to do is just dimension this out. I press D for dimension, which is a custom keyboard shortcut. You can go to Window Preferences and go to Shortcuts to set custom keyboard shortcuts. I used D for dimension. D for dimension from here to here, and most of these dimensions are repeating itself, but just for the sake of having everything on the diagram that is needed, I'll go ahead and put these out here. And then a long dimension, and then a long dimension here. So now these guidelines are in the way, these guidelines are in the way, I'll delete them. The axis is in the way, but first let's go to styles and turn this to an engineering style so we get a white background. Let's go to view, turn off axis, and then let's also change our diagram here to go to hidden lines, and that way it just turns white. That way we're not printing anything with color. This tells me 11 inches is this particular row. I can make a line on the board. 3 inches away is the center line here. 3 inches away is this line, which is also 11 inches from this side. It's symmetrical, so the same dimensions are here. I do need to make notification of D for dimension from here to here, that this is 6 inches this way. And I'll move this down actually right there. D for dimension from here to here, and then drag this way 6 inches. So the center point for here is 6 inches, and we do have the same 1.5 inch spacing all the way around. Just so we know that, let's go ahead and drop a text leader and say 1 and 1.5 inches on center for all of my center points. And let's see, is that it? Do we need anything else? I think we've got all of our information here. I think we do. So now let's make these numbers just a little bit bigger. That way they print and I can actually read them because I've got bad eyes, even though I am relatively young. Let's go to Window, Model Info, and let's change the dimensions here. It is 12-point font. Let's change this to, I don't know, 20. See what that works. Select all of our dimensions on the screen and then update them with the bigger size. Yep, that's pretty much J-proof. I can actually read that. And let's also change the size of this. This is a leader. I think it's under text. Leader text. Let's go to font. Let's change this to 20 as well. Maybe a little bit too big because it is longer. So let's select all leader text. Update selected. It is a little bit long. I guess I could leave that, but I'm just going to change it. It's a little bit too long. Let's drop it down to 18, see if that works. Update selected. There we go. We're on board. So this is basically all I need. I just need to turn this into some type of image that can be printed, or in my case, I'm just going to send it to my cell phone, and that way I'll have it in the shop. There's a couple different ways to get this information off of the computer, out of SketchUp, and either transferred to a mobile device like a smartphone or a tablet, or to actually print it off. Printing directly from SketchUp, it prints the entire window size, basically. So if I was to print, it's going to want to print this wasted information, this empty space, the usable information, and then the wasted information and the empty space, and it's not going to print to the right size that you want. Printing to scale is a completely different option. If you want to print to scale, then you can't really do it specifically in SketchUp that I've found. You might be able to with a plugin or something, but I haven't found a way and don't really care about it, so I haven't really looked into it. But basically go to File, Export 2D Graphic, and you'll want to export a fairly good quality 2D graphic that you can open up in a different program such as Big Print. That'll work. But if you want to print right from here, you'll have to resize your window so that you are zoomed in as much as you want, and then you reduce the amount of wasted space around it. So you're not really going to print a bunch of empty space, basically, and then print from there. I never, ever do that. I basically just export an image and then use that. So if I want a good quality image for like making plans or something like that, I'll go to File, Export 2D Graphic, and then go from there. But if I just need something quick and dirty that I can send over to my phone, I use the Snipping Tool in Windows. There's an alternative for Mac, of course. I don't know what the program is, but basically you're just going to grab part of the screen. So if you're on a Windows computer, press the Windows button, type in Snip, and press Enter. Basically, it'll bring up the Snipping Tool. And press New, and this will allow you to grab a rectangle of what part of the screen you want to turn into an actual JPEG image. So I want to save this particular spot. So this is the image that it just made with that boundary box, and I can press Save, and then save this as my template image. Now I have an actual image that I can just email to my phone, or email to myself and then use it on my phone in the shop. Or if I actually wanted to print this, I typically open it up in a, I'm going to open up this image real quick. I open up in an image editor. In this case, I'm using Photoshop. If you don't want to pay for Photoshop, you can use GIMP. It's basically the same exact thing, just different commands. So I'm going to show you how it works here in Photoshop. Let's first make this a layer, and then press Ctrl-Alt-C for canvas, and let's change the canvas size to inches. My width is 8.5 inches, tab, 11 inches, enter for the height. That's the size of a sheet of a paper, and as you can see, it's bigger than the sheet of paper, so let's zoom out a little bit, and press Ctrl-T for transform, hold Shift and Alt, and scale this down a little bit. So that's basically what I'm going to do if I'm going to print off of a piece of paper. Like I said, I don't typically do this. I normally just take this particular image and send it to myself. So anyway, hope that helps. There's not really a super awesome way to print right from SketchUp, unfortunately. But yeah, that's it. Hope this helps. You guys have a great day, and thanks for watching.